A colleague of mine once told me there's 5 things that sell a piece of real estate.
And they are price, terms, condition, location, and the seller's motivation. And if you've got all 5 of these going for you, and you add the 6th element of exposure, then you can expect that your property is going to sell. Now, in this menu item, we're talking about the market analysis, and it's a very important part of pricing your home. And we're going to talk about the price and the seller's motivation here. And price and seller's motivation, they're related, and one way a real estate professional might show you the relationship between price and motivation would be with this triangle, which we've used for many years in the business. The upper value here toward the apex of the triangle would be a price that's just way too high for the property. You might say that the property would bring this, but it'd probably take 2-3 years to bring this. And then the other range would be toward the base of the triangle, and this value is like a fire sale. This would be one like, we probably could get this for the property today. So I tell my customers and my clients that we really don't want either one of these values. We want to price our property competitively based on the properties that are currently competing against our property. And so we would start somewhere in that mid-range after looking at some data. So now let's talk about the data and how do we develop the data and what does it mean? Okay, we get our data from the Knoxville Association of Realtors Multiple Listing Service. The Multiple Listing Service is a great database of information. And first, if you order the market analysis, we will go in and determine what are your competing properties. And to do that, we're going to compare your home using 4 data points that are commonly used to determine competition. And these are location, age, architectural style, and square footage. Now, location speaks to land value. We want properties that are similar in location to your home. The age factor, we want to stay relatively similar to you in terms of age. If yours is 15, we want to say take properties that are in the 10 to 20 year old range. Architectural style, same thing. We want to look for properties that are same as your property in terms of architectural style. We don't like to compare 2 stories, say, with split foyers. And square footage, again, we want to stay relatively similar in size. So if you were, say, 3,500 or so square feet, we would try to stay in the range of 3,300 to 3,700 in looking for competing properties. So now let's make some assumptions so that we can actually do a market analysis. So let's say that your home is located in Knox County and it's in West Knoxville. Let's say that the house is 15 years old. It's a 2-story and it's 3,800 square feet. Now with this information, we take this to the MLS. And we're just going to plug these parameters in and bring up properties that would be most likely competing with you. So we see here the MLS, and we're going to go first into the status, and we want properties that are actively listed on the market. So there's several active listing status, and then that's automatically moved into this column. Location, there's 2 pieces of information. We want to know the county, and we're going to select Knox County here, and then come back over and select all of the sub areas that indicate that the properties that we want are in the West Knoxville area. And then we'll come down to the type of the property, and we want to indicate here, since yours is a 2-story, we want to check 2-story, and then the age of the property. We know that your property is 15, so we're going to put in a range of 10 to 20 years here. We know that yours is 3,800 square feet, so our square footage range is going to be 3,600 to 4,000. So now we have our 4 common data points in here. Now we're just going to press update, and we see that now there are a number of properties that we can actually look at and compare to your home. So now let's take a look at what do we do with this information. And this goes into a presentation form. As you see, we can actually show you here that considering location, age, architectural style, and square footage, these 15 sellers are competing for the same buyer that you are. And so actually we can take this one step further, and if you'll notice the average there about 435,000 for these properties. However, if we go back into our MLS and we come back up and we sort these prices to put them in order, now we're able to obtain the mean value. And surprisingly enough, when we take a look at our mean, we can see that the values actually are much higher. So there is a very low priced property here that's skewering our data, and if you weren't careful, you might work off that average and set your price too low.
So now we also take that a step further and we go into the closed and sold portion of our data, and expireds, withdrawns. Sometimes we can learn a lot about what your price should be from what has not happened in the market. So all of this information critical towards setting your price, a very, very important part of your strategy, and we hope you'll consider the market analysis. We think it's one of the best values on the menu. And next we're going to talk about photography.